All right, welcome everybody to the show. Hope everybody's about to prepare for the weekend. And it looks like we're good to go. So, without further ado, as we here at Perfect Soulmates always do, gonna go ahead and get straight right into it. So, welcome to another Passionate Friday Perfect Soulmate show. Today's topic is, oh boy, evil females robbing your bank, life, and soul. But this isn't a joke. This is going to be a very serious stream. I'll try to keep it as light as possible. Now, why don't I call them women? Because evil females don't deserve to be called women. Just like evil males don't deserve to be called men. It's a title. And when somebody does something that's inhumane, they don't deserve to be even called a human. Many people refer to them as monsters or demons or evil people in general. We have to say people to refer to the human species, but you get the point. So this episode is primarily for men. However, I highly do encourage real women out there to watch this episode because modern day men need real women to understand completely just how bad their struggles are in trying to find their potential future soulmate. So in this show, I will be going over the most evil females that exist today and how to get out of horrible situations like these if you are actually caught in one of their many traps. I will be providing specific problems with specific solutions. This is not a red flags presentation. I already did a stream like that. I already did a show like that not too long ago called Avoid These Red Flags. We are way beyond red flags in this stream. All of these scenarios involve already being trapped by an evil female, ready to make your life a living hell. So, if the shoe fits in any one of these four scenarios, please listen carefully because some of it's obvious, some of it is not. So, it needs to be heard. All right, let's go ahead and proceed to problem number one, or scenario number one, if you will. She's after your money. One way or another, no matter how she gets the job done, all she ultimately cares about is your money. Gold diggers are not always easy to identify. They are covert narcissists. Let's say you finally realize that all she ever cared about, and still cares about, is money. She complains that you don't earn enough to fulfill her needs. She holds back on having sex with you if you don't give her an expensive gift, for instance. Now, I know that no means no, but we're talking about very specific instances, okay? Weaponizing sex. Want to be very clear on that. Because it's not normal behavior in a natural loving relationship. You should want to have sex with each other. Okay, got that out of the way. One of the number one traps in today's sick modern world, well, often sick modern world, is getting pregnant on purpose. It's no secret that for evil females, children equal child support, which means money. They have absolutely no intent on becoming loving mothers at all. No honor. Maybe she has the latest new edition of her dream car. You know, the car that you gave her as a gift or that she bought with your money. Now, it's precisely 1 year later, and there she is, already demanding to trade in her car for a new one. This actually happens, okay? I have to point this out. It's no laughing matter, but I mean, I kind of chuckle a little bit because it's absolutely unbelievable that this stuff still happens today, but we'll get into it. So, solutions to this problem. These are my recommendations. Let her have all the things you bought her. Don't try to fight for anything in court. The sooner you let go of this evil female, the sooner you can be free from her evil plans. Freedom is everything. If she ends up taking half of everything that you own, then later let her take half of everything you own. The last thing you want to do in this scenario is make a bad situation worse. That's one of my special bits of advice to a lot of different situations. Never make a bad situation worse, because it can always get worse. Nothing in this case is worth wasting money on lawyers over. If she got pregnant on purpose, no matter how she did it, own up to your mistake by taking care of your child or children. The last thing you want to do is be a deadbeat dad. Be a real man and a real father. Don't let the actions of an evil female ruin your future as an honorable father, if that's the case. Forget about her changing one day. She will never change, for those of you wondering. I don't care how physically attractive she is or how good she is in bed sexually. There is a time to be a real man and begin completely letting go of her physically, mentally, and emotionally. This is not the time to be wondering if you can still fix such a relationship. You already know that she's only in it for the money. Unfortunately, you have a lot of rich people out there who don't care, but they're going to eventually care the hard way, if they haven't already learned already. Do not get into a physical or verbal fight with her, because physical and verbal fights are common in this scenario. That's precisely what she wants. She wants to cause you pain and get you into further trouble. If you have children, raise your child or children responsibly, because your mistakes are not their fault. So those are the solutions. I mean, this isn't I try to cover a lot of different cases here. It's always by a case-by-case basis. So the most extreme of circumstances. Getting pregnant on purpose is a huge problem, because they don't intend to give any of that child support money to the actual child, or at least the minimum, the bare minimum. It's absolutely horrific. Or saving all of her money and yours in a secret bank account, demanding clothes, jewelry, new cars, when she already has a new car, that sort of thing. Maybe she wants fame, so she's probably with you because of how famous you are. And I'm not talking about celebrity fame. I'm talking about if you go out there and a lot of people know you and she wants a piece of that pie too, the attention. She doesn't really care about you. She just loves money and attention. And avoiding having sex, that's just already a big red flag. But we're already talking about you're already in this situation. So hopefully you know what to do right now. It's over, okay? I mean, the cards are all on the table, okay? There's no more chips. It's done. It's a done deal. So, yeah. And if you have kids, don't take it out on them. They have nothing to do with your failed relationship. And don't blame yourself. It is what it is. You have to move on for your own health, okay? Your own mental and emotional well-being. Okay, so problem scenario number 2. She manipulated you into ruining your family and the close relationships you once had with your family and friends or friends. She made you forget about everything your family ever did for you. She made you hate them. Now, in this case, I gotta be very specific. We are strictly talking about having a loving family and caring friends, okay? I know that's not all the cases, but in this particular case, what if? So, not a toxic family or toxic friends. Okay, so she wrongfully accused your family of things that were simply not true. Now you realize what she did in order to take control of you. She made your family despise you. She acted like a victim. This is all covert narcissism, when all along she just wanted you to believe her side of the story. So she'll make up all kinds of lies. She's jealous of how much your family loves you. She can't stand just being your girlfriend or wife. It's never enough. She forced you to leave your loving family. Now she can act like your mother and boss you around. That's what her goal is. So she wants you to get rid of your loving mother so that she can be your new mother. In a bad way. Alright, so she taught you how to be a weak pushover. This is the worst. She knows that you will only listen to her and not your loving friends and family. So, once again, loving friends and family. Have to emphasize that. Solutions to this problem. You messed up. You just have to admit it. You were too blind to see her blatant acting in order to get exactly what she wanted. You want to get rid of her. Now that you know she invented all of those lies and played the victim. This scenario is all about dealing with a narcissistic actor. Whatever the specific scenario is, she manipulated you. She used you to get what she wanted by making you forget about everyone who still probably cares about you. It's not too late, however. The sooner you break up or divorce this evil, manipulative female, the sooner you can fix your life and regain the love and trust that your family and friends still have for you. You became, unfortunately, addicted to being her slave. Be sure to talk to a life coach or seek psychological therapy afterwards, because with the evil female, if they could puppeteer you so easily, it means you have much to work on mentally and emotionally. You fell far too easily. That means you're mentally and emotionally weak. Better strengthen yourself. And take a nice long break from trying to find a new partner afterwards. I always recommend at least 6 months to maybe even a year. When you're finally ready, take things nice and slow. Learn from your mistakes by being aware of any signs of direct manipulation. So, these are scenarios where you already fell for it. Okay? You ended up doing exactly as she says. She had you get rid of your loving family and friends because they mean absolutely nothing to her. And she made you believe that she's the only person important in your life. Nobody else matters. Not even acquaintances. She'll even get jealous over that. So you gave her exactly what she wanted, how she wanted, when she wanted it. It's really sad, but you became a pushover. This is all about manipulation, getting you to do things that she wants. And they're not good things, by the way. You're going to think they're good things because you're going to say, oh, it's because I love you. No, love doesn't do destructive things like that. No. So manipulation is it's a huge problem. I hear about it all the time. Men being manipulated, and they don't even know that they're being manipulated. Some of them take years to wake up from this form of manipulation, covert narcissism, from all these toxic females. All right, so let's go ahead and see the next scenario here. All right, what's up next? Problem scenario number 3. She either cheated on you or is still cheating on you. This is really bad. She thinks you will always be there to forgive her for sleeping with other men. She knows you are desperate enough to share her with other males. It doesn't matter if other men are unaware that she's even cheating on you. You thought maybe it was just a one-time thing. Maybe you cheated on her first, if that's the case, and accepted her revenge by cheating on you. Maybe you are scared to even leave her. You think you're not good enough to find someone as attractive as she is, which is why you stay. You think of her as your trophy that you don't want to let go of because you think she's better than any other woman. You simply can't help the thought of letting her go because you're addicted to her abuse. This actually happens. She doesn't give you any sexual satisfaction because she only cares about her sexual satisfaction. You go down on her with oral sex, for example, but she refuses to go down on you with oral sex. That's important, believe it or not. She will use you for sex whenever she pleases. I've heard it all. Where this toxic female will just literally have sex and then roll over just like a toxic male. Just like all that machismo, extremism. So here's the solution to this problem. Realize that you are being used. It's always realization, the first step. You have to know that there's a problem. There's so many gullible men out there who I think this is normal. No, it's not normal. Realize that you're being used. This is not a healthy relationship. You are a desperate man that needs to break up or divorce as soon as possible. Realize that this scenario is beyond the point of no return. You can't fix it. You need to know that there are plenty of good women out there in this world. Anyone who says otherwise is stuck in a miserable situation themselves, just like you are in now. You need to know that you are wasting precious years of your life if you are not thinking about getting out of this relationship. Maybe you chose to look the other way whenever she openly flirted around with other men right in front of your face. You chose to accept her disrespect because you thought that there was nothing you could do about it. A huge part of this solution is to have healthy, reasonable, high expectations for your next potential partner. Your lowered expectations is exactly what got you here in the first place. This extremely toxic relationship has no salvation. You need to realize that you were used and abused. You need to respect yourself by finding someone who respects you in every way possible. This toxic, abusive relationship is over. It's time to quickly break up or divorce. No excuses. I mean, it's a huge problem. And I don't like the whole open-end relationships thing where it's really sad. Some relationship counselors will say, "Oh, why don't we just see other people for now?" No, that means the relationship's over. I even did a video about that. So she thinks she can have any man that she wants. And you're just lucky to even be with her because, oh, well, she's really beautiful, physically attractive. And that's all that matters, right? And you fear trying to find somebody else just as attractive as her. Well, let me tell you something. Physical attraction is not everything. It's important, but it's not everything. So that's why she can use you whenever she pleases to just satisfy her, and she doesn't have to satisfy you at all. This happens, people, and it's really sad, but there's gullible pushover men out there. They don't want to strengthen themselves mentally and emotionally, and so they fall into these pitfalls, and they end up ruining their lives, possibly even getting PTS from it, post-traumatic stress. All right, so problem scenario number 4, the last scenario I feel in one of the most extreme scenarios possible. She's a literal nightmare. This probably covers a lot of relationships out there. This isn't about love at all. Every day you are stressed out of your mind. Maybe you have kids, maybe you don't. If you do have kids, she doesn't care about being a good mother or a good wife. This is sadly very common in many relationships. That's why I always say that perfection must be achieved first before proceeding to live together in a lifelong relationship, even thinking about marriage, for example. Otherwise, prepare to live an inescapable hell that you should have prevented. All she cares about is herself. She doesn't appreciate anything you do. She doesn't care how your day went, and forget about having sex with her, because she's going to avoid that too. Your new permanent home is the doghouse. She will publicly humiliate you. She constantly insults you as well. She's too lazy and doesn't know how to cook, clean, or do basic chores around the home. Maybe she works and gets home saying she's too exhausted to do anything. Now, this is very specific, this scenario, along with all the other signs. The truth is, every couple is mutually responsible for doing chores, including cooking and cleaning. It's not just for the females out there, for the women. She watches TV or is glued to her iPhone, her smartphone, instead of talking to you about anything. She doesn't care what you have to say, or even having conversations for that matter. She doesn't care how you feel. She's not a team player at all. You have to do everything by yourself. Every day, she wants to argue nonstop. So this is a troublemaker. This is not a team player with some solutions. So she could be physically abusing you, verbally abusing you. This is very common. And nagging. Nagging is a form of abuse. Nagging doesn't solve anything. Constantly nagging you. So if she doesn't appreciate anything that you do or doesn't care about your feelings, this is really bad. But here are the solutions, right, to this problem. Either she genuinely cleans up her act, or it's time to break up or divorce. A successful couple requires both partners to be team players. Whether it's chores, listening to each other, and productive, positive conversations, having or planning ahead, simply planning ahead for any responsibilities that are on the plate or in the near future. Obviously, she doesn't love or appreciate you. This is a horrific situation that many men unfortunately choose to put up with. Realize that if she's constantly doing any of these things, she does not love you. You got to realize that. She doesn't respect you. You mean nothing to her. If things are this bad, realize that this is not supposed to be normal. Just because other couples in the world put up with this type of toxic, abusive form of relationship does not mean it's okay. You are being chronically abused, and her behavior must change, which is most likely not going to happen, by the way. I have heard of stories where wives are literally stabbing men with kitchen knives. I have heard stories of men going insane every single day from the never-ending torture of verbal abuse and neglect. It doesn't matter whether you have kids or not. It's over. So if you have kids, well, you better settle it as amicably as possible on a good note, because you don't want to make a bad situation worse, as I mentioned earlier. So avoiding talking to you, this is not a team player, people. Never happy, never satisfied, always complaining, always whining, avoiding having sex, so no intimacy. Like I said, no means no, but this is different. This is like she has no interest in you at all in an intimate level. Doesn't even help with the common chores. I mean, I understand if you come home tired, but for it to be all the time and expect you to do everything. Because there's men out there who are doing the cooking, cleaning, the outside home projects that have to be done. You know, not just mowing the lawn and taking out the trash. I'm talking about fixing things around the house, paying for contractors to come and take care of things. So managing, right? And she does absolutely nothing. So she's probably there sitting, you know, watching her soap operas or whatnot. Or just doing I mean, we're talking about a lazy, non-team player, narcissistic, selfish. I mean, that's not a relationship, people. That's just flat out abuse. These females are just straight out of hell. Nobody should be with these toxic females, and I highly doubt that they'll ever change. In fact, I don't even know if I heard even one story where such a toxic female has changed to earn the right to be called a woman, in my viewpoint. I don't know. I mean, go ahead and share if you have any stories, but not in my world so far. So men, you must realize that not all women are the same. This is very important. Not all women are the same. Just like not all men are the same. If you suffered from a horrific failed relationship, take 6 months to a year, as I mentioned before, to live all by yourself. You need some alone time. You've just been through an abusive relationship. This is where a lot of men mess up. They completely mess up. They're so immature. You got to be wise, men. You have to be intelligent. What did you learn from your mistakes? You have to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally. You can't just pick the next person in line. You should go ahead and check out my live stream called Groundhogging and Article Reviews. The very first episode in my playlist. Because groundhogging means, okay, who's next in line? And you make the same mistakes all over again. And then you come back saying, oh, all women are toxic. No, you're just horrible at selecting the right potential partner. Horrible. You got to work on that. You got to learn from your mistakes. Because this is exactly why we hear, oh, all men are bad. All women are bad. These are people who don't think. They might have tried hard in their relationship to make it work, but they're missing that level of wisdom and intelligence to realize how to make it work with the next person. And to not just pick the next person in line. The first person to say, oh, you know what? I'm attracted to you. Oh, okay, I guess we have to automatically... No, we don't have to automatically become nothing. That's why I always recommend being friends first. Establish a good friendship. Get to know that person. Don't be in a rush. And maybe you can take things to the next level. That's why I say only the wise and intelligent ones will actually find their potential soulmate down the road. The patient ones. Because they know that living all alone without love is no life at all. Anyone who says otherwise has already accepted defeat. They're losers, unfortunately. That's not offensive. It's just the truth. They want to lose everything, all their chances, their opportunities in life. So don't be immature, men, by participating in the highly destructive gender war. By just saying, you know what, all the women are bad, because that's false. That's false. If you claim that you're a good guy, then there's good women out there. And the same to the women saying that all men are bad. No. If they claim to be a good woman, then there's good men out there. That's just a simple fact of life. It's natural logic. But if you do participate in the gender war, you will only be wasting precious time of your life and end up being an old, grumpy old man, bitter and miserable to the end, like Mr. Scrooge. So, patient persistence is key. Your future soulmate awaits you. That's what I have to say for closing statements. So you have to maintain your optimism, but you also have to learn from your past mistakes. Fortunately for me, I didn't have a failed relationship. The first one worked for me right off the bat because I learned throughout my teenager years how my parents messed up, how my older siblings messed up in their relationships. And I watched Friends also. And I paid attention to intimate scenes in movies and any stories that I read. And I studied about relationships since the age of 13. Every single year I was learning more and more. It was a hobby of mine, studying everything about love, from rated G to rated X. So that's how I came to know so much and write my own book about love, Perfect Soulmates, Love Requires Perfection, and create an online video course, a 1-hour video course. All of my wisdom and intelligence came from observing carefully human behavior and interaction, and what are the best ways of accomplishing both of your guys' goals. Both partners in a relationship, how can they both be happy? Not compromising, because when you compromise, you're lying to yourself. Now you're not happy because you're like, okay, I have to give this up in order to have this together. No, you can have your cake and eat it too. Both of you. There's 2 cakes. You can share them and eat them. It doesn't matter. The point is, both of you are fully satisfied. But guess what? It takes a wise, mature, intelligent male, a man, a real man, with a wise, intelligent, mature woman, a real woman. That's going to equal eventually perfection if you both want it. It takes 2 to tango. So this show right here is all about the worst of the worst. It's not about avoiding them because you already found yourself in these scenarios, these 4 scenarios, or anything similar to these scenarios. Just a horrific nightmare of a situation. There's always a way out, but you need to get out. Stop trying to make these relationships work and stop thinking about your exes. Yeah, that's gone. That boat has sailed away. It was already sinking. So what? You want to sink in an ocean full of sharks? Let them sink in their own boat. All these narcissistic, toxic people out there. So you have to ask yourself, what do you deserve in life? Do you deserve to be happy? Do you want to give yourself that gift? How bad do you want it? Because everybody complaining is just going to keep complaining. They're always going to be unhappy about everything and anything. To those who are really serious about being happy in life, they're going to have the patience, the wisdom, the intelligence, the strategy even. They're going to want to befriend somebody and know what to look for in that person and get everything that they ever wanted in a relationship. And the other person, their partner, is going to get everything that they ever wanted. It's always mutual. You got to find out a way that works for both of you. So that's what I'm here to teach, and that's what I teach in my book and video course, and so much more. So from this point onward, we're going to have no more closing music because I just want to get straight to the point. And if you notice, I've been editing all these other streams to have no more music, so get straight to the point. All right, and I only have beginning music in order to sync the stream, in order to have a good connection, but it'll be removed later on. So hope everybody gets excited for the weekend, and much love to everybody. Thanks for watching.